Good morning, good day, good evening, and good night, no matter where you are, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's guest is Kay Suthar. A digital maven and visionary, Kay is the game changer the podcasting world needed and didn't know it. Imagine a world where podcasters don't just engage with their audience, but create thriving, interactive communities. That's Kay's playground, diving deep into the untapped potential, NFTs. Kay has crafted a revolutionary blueprint that's transforming the podcasting universe. Forget traditional monetization. We're talking about creating unique digital assets that your community can own, trade, and even profit from. Kay isn't just ahead of the curve. She's defining it. By merging NFTs with podcasting, Kay has unlocked a Pandora's box of opportunities from new ventures, new revenue streams, to unprecedented audience engagement. So if you're looking to catch a glimpse of the future of podcasting, look no further. Kay Suthar is not just shaping it, she's setting the stage on fire. So once again, I'd like to introduce you to Kay Suthar. Kay?
Oh my goodness. That was such an awesome intro. I'm like, who is that person?
That's you. It's definitely you. I've gotten to know you over time, and it's definitely you. You're doing so much in the Web3 space. I mean, when I met you and everything we've been talking about, and now you're implementing and you've gotten so far into the podcasting sector. Tell me, how did that all happen for you? Where did you come from and how did you get there?
Do you know what? Just like a lot of the stories out there, it didn't happen overnight, right? It was an absolute journey to get to where I was today. And it was really having different ideas and speaking to people and seeing what's happening in the world, right? And so I do have a podcast agency where we do help people with traditional podcasts. But with what's happened with the pandemic and where tech is going in the world, right? We got to keep up with technology. I mean, look at ChatGPT, AI, how quick that exploded, right? And a lot of people and their business got left behind. We don't want to do that. We need to keep up with technology. And that's when I was like, okay, we need to take podcasting to the next level, to the Web3, to the metaverse, and incorporate it together to stay ahead of that curve.
Well, in doing that, it seems to me that you have really implemented quite a bit of difference in communities, monetization, and just how you're handling your business. So many people are nervous about AI. They're nervous about what they don't understand and what is meant by Web3. Tell us, what were some of the challenges when you decided that you needed to pivot and shift into this space with your podcast agency?
Oh my goodness. So it's really the unknown, like you already said, right? A lot of people, when I have conversations with them, even now, it goes over their heads. They don't understand what is Web3, what is the metaverse, right? What is the tech that's needed to go behind this to produce such a thing? And so it was really making sure that I delved in deep, right? To speak to people just like yourself and other people that are so heavily into Web3, that are masters at it, and actually try and figure out, what is this all about? How does it work? What is the different tech out there? How to really put this together? And it was mind-blowing, Donna. Like, it was insane. I was like, well, why is nobody doing this? And you know why? And you know why. It's because it goes over a lot of people's heads. They just don't know what they don't know. And so that's why it's so important, especially with you having this podcast, is educating people about Web3, about the metaverse, about AI, about everything that's needed to keep ahead of that curve for all business owners and making sure no one gets left behind. We need to educate, educate, educate.
So with that said, when I think about community is big in this Web3 space. How exactly did you go about starting your community? And where is it today? Is there gamification? Are there NFTs? How did you go about pulling it together? And what are you doing today to keep their interest? So our listeners really understand what we mean by utilizing a lot of these elements and technologies in the podcasting sector.
Oh my goodness. It's a game changer right now. let me explain what's happening right now. A lot of people are using all these different platforms like Circle and Facebook, right? Where it's controlled, right? You don't control it. You have that group, but you do not control it. And so you got to be careful with the conversations that you have, what you say, because if the minute Facebook sees something that they don't like, guess what? Your account gets shut down and you lose everything. So it may have taken you years and years to build up a fan base, a group, right? And having all this content up there. And you might have just said something that Facebook didn't like and you would have lost everything. Now, communities in the Web3 is completely different, right? Because decentralized is not controlled by anyone but you, which means you can say what you want, how you want, be yourself, be authentic and true to who you are. This is what's going to be the biggest game changer, because people are going to be able to relate to you even more. People are going to love your content because you're being raw and you're being real. And you got 100% control to say what you want to say, how you want to say, and deal with all your fan base, your community, how you like, including rewards, right? This is where NFTs come into it. This is about tokenization. And what I mean by that is you can actually reward your communities, right, when they take certain actions. So, for example, you might want to say one of the first things is, oh, if you bring 10 other people into this community, you'll get an NFT, a token. And once they get that, this is something that not only would you be able to monetize on royalties, but they can actually monetize as well. And who doesn't love money, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So now we're talking, and I'm sure everyone's listening on what are NFTs? What and how did you know to utilize the NFTs? And where are you placing them in your community, or how are they purchasing them now? How do they get one if they wanted to come to your community and join you?
Oh my goodness. So we do have a free pass to join the community. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay. Okay. So they can go to Make Your Mark agency and join the community right there. The minute you join, you'll get your first NFTs. The thing is, a lot of people have been saying to me, but aren't NFTs dead? Oh my goodness. No, they're not. They're not dead. It's just people aren't aware of them. They don't know how to use them, what it's for, how it all works. And so really come into the community to learn about podcasting, Web3 and NFTs and everything that's involved. You're going to be so much more ahead of everybody else in the industry because you know something that they don't. And at the moment, it seems to be like a big secret out there, and it really doesn't need to be. And so when people come into the community, they get their NFTs and it's theirs forever. Remembering that NFTs actually do go up in value. So they can keep it, and then later on down the line, when they're making enough money and the value goes up, they can sell it. And so they're making money, I'm making money, and we're all happy. It's a win-win situation.
Well, Kay, you said it. It seems like it's a secret. Exactly for why I'm here. I felt like everybody needed to know. I mean, this is really out of my comfort zone to be talking to so many people. You know that. But once I understood Web3 and the importance and the impact it's going to take place in the different populations and in the community, it's something I couldn't ignore. And I figured it's time for everybody to know what's happening. So tell me, with your business background and your acumen, you have worked with so many entrepreneurs and so many businesses. And you stay positive with ChatGPT and AI. How can the average business owner embrace some of the elements of Web3, from giving them an idea of what to be careful for and what to really ignore? Because everybody has this fear going on. Is there something maybe I should question it in a way? What keeps you up at night in regards to AI or anything coming in the future? Or does anything keep you up at night? Seems like you've got it all going on.
No, not quite. Now, one of my biggest secrets is in order to keep up with what's going on and what's actually true out there, I keep a very close-knit community, the people that are already in the Web3 that will tell me straight, this is what's happening, right? Because there is this whole load of marketing out there, right? AI is this big thing out there, ChatGPT. But a lot of people don't know how to use it, even though there's everyone on Facebook, everyone on social media has got some sort of training on ChatGPT, right? But really, really honing into what does it mean? How does it work? How to implement it in your business, right? And making sure that it actually works. And you're not just on this hype, on this whole vibe that AI, everyone's excited about it. I need to jump in. Actually learn from the experts that have been doing this for years, because this didn't just happen overnight, even though it feels like it has. It didn't happen overnight. Web3 has been around for years. It's only just now exploded and come mainstream. So go back to those G's back in the day, right? That were doing it for years, right? And learn from those people, because they know exactly how it's evolved, what's worked before, what's working now, the changes, the systems, because they've been doing it for so many years, rather than the people that have just come out from the woodworks right now and just teaching people about chat GTP and everything else that's going out there with AI.
Well, that's really a good idea, because at the end of the day, if we don't stay open to learning and learning the facts and what's real and what's possibly been massaged into what we want to say or do now, that's the only way you're really going to be able to keep up with what's happening and utilize it in your best interest and implement it in your business strategy for your business. So when you think about Web3 and the metaverse and all the changes that are taking place, what is it that you'd like to see in the future? What is on your wish list?
I would like to see a lot more people not only learn to educate themselves on technology, because it's evolving, it's not going anywhere, it's just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, but actually get involved, start seeing how it all works, right? Rather than being scared of it or letting it go over your head and just waiting. Don't wait. People did that before. They've made some huge mistakes by waiting. Get ahead of the curve, just like you, Donna, right? You've seen where this has gone, right? And where it's going to be at. This is why you created this podcast.
That's true.
Right? Which is amazing.
That's true.
Right? And why you're educating people. And what I love about it is, and don't get me wrong here, I'm just going to be raw and real, just like you are, Donna,
Okay,
right?
I'm ready.
You haven't let age stop you, which is what a lot of people do, right? You have embraced it, you're flying with it, and you're educating people with it, right? Which is freaking awesome. It's not just for the youngsters. Why should it be? When it comes to tech in the world and it evolving, it involves everybody. So let's all embrace technology and move with where the world is going.
Well, Kay, you called me out, because that was my first TikTok. If anybody's seen me on TikTok, well, you can look at Kay and some of the people I've got around me, and here I am on TikTok talking about chubby checker and CDs and, 45s and how technology has moved on. I would have never did that before. But anyways, here we are. So I appreciate you saying I've been hanging around this earth for quite some time and I'm embracing my age. And yes, I am. This has been a real opportunity, everybody, where AI, when you really look at it, instead of being fearful of it, for those that are, it is something that makes our lives a lot easier. It's like a new Google. It's a new way to have an assistant or a virtual assistant. And I do talk to it. I've learned to be very nice to it and say thank you and please and can you check? So therefore, I would say embrace technology. There's an opportunity there for everyone to utilize it in your personal life, but more importantly, in your business. Now, back to business. You have been in business for some time, but I also want to talk about the fact that everybody can really move forward and learn. How did you end up in podcasting? How did you get there? What were your challenges?
Oh my goodness. Do you know what happened? It was completely by accident, right? So we had the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was someone that was into live events industry, right? Closing sales at the back of the room. That's what I was doing. Pandemic happened. There was no live events. What was I going to do? No idea. But one thing that I did realize is just because something like that happens and the world just shuts down, you do not shut off. You got to find different ways. You got to be able to pivot. And so I thought, let me see about this whole podcasting thing. What is this all about? And so as I was trying to strategize and use different tactics, in the beginning, nobody would interview me. Like, I wouldn't get any responses, right? It was like tumbleweed, nothing, not even a no. And so I had to figure this out. And it took me 2-3 months to figure it out. And all of a sudden, I got booked on 100 podcasts in 60 days. And I was like, oh my goodness. And everybody noticed, everybody saw I was everywhere. And they started asking, how are you doing this? And then I was like, oh, okay, this could be a program. Right? And that's when I started a program to show people, teach them, coach them on how to get booked on podcasts the right way. And then the next thing happened. It was so surprising. Podcasters were now asking me, wait, what's the name of your podcast? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't have one. Okay, I got to go create one. Right? And so I was just pleasing what the market were asking for. Right? So I waited for the market to tell me what they wanted. Then I went and created it, and then created my podcast in like 14 days. Right? And then people were like, how did you do that in 14 days? Well, I didn't do it on my own. I didn't do it on my own, Donna. I had a lot of help. Right? And then people started saying, well, can they do the same for me? That's when I decided to start a podcast agency, because I could see there was a demand for it. And that just came out of the blue. I went with it, and here I am today.
And I'm glad you are here today, because basically I met you in the last few years, and that's how I got here as well. Having the right people around me, your network is your net worth, and that I have really learned in the last few years. So with that said, what is it that I haven't asked you that you want to share with our audience?
Oh, okay. I think already what I've already said, right? So don't be scared. A lot of people are in this fear mindset that can't embrace technology, I can't podcast, I can't be on video. Oh my goodness, right? Like, people are so scared of being on video. But if you're going to be doing podcasting, you have to do video, because you are the brand, right? You are the face of your brand, your company. Get yourself out there, get the visibility, because that will make such a huge difference, not only to your business and your authority, but also to your pocket.
Well, everyone, you've heard it first here from Kay Suthar from Make Your Mark Podcast Agency, from Make Your Mark Podcast Agency. And she has become one of my close advisors, friends, and she's really in the sector of Web3 and making her mark in communities, Web3, gamification, and just moving the needle forward and beyond on the cutting edge technology. So, Kay, thank you so much. How do people reach you? Where do they get in contact with you? How do they follow up if they wanted to talk to you or just connect?
Okay, so they can either go to the website, and that's at makeyourmarkagency.com. You can go there. If they want to jump on a call, they can do. There's a button on there. They can jump on a call, or they can connect with me on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or even YouTube. All you do is put in Make Your Mark Agency or Kay Suthar, and they can join me on there and be part of the community.
All right, then. And that's what I believe in, shaping tomorrow together. This is Pivoting to Web3, Donna Mitchell and Kay Suthar. And everyone, thank you for joining us. And I'm looking forward to our future broadcasts, podcasts, and classes. Take care. Thanks for listening to Pivoting to Web3 at pivotingtoweb3.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that it gets to you with every episode that comes out. We have lots of great opportunities, limitations, and downward spirals being revealed by our guests. And thank you in advance for all your reviews and comments. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to serving you in the next week's episode.